Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody? Just getting all the technology set up for this live today. So, welcome back for another conversation of Inner Compass. And today I want to talk about our ego and how to move from a state of seeking to just being. And before I dive in, I just want to share, why am I coming on live every day? Really is just to share kind of my own, to be a conduit for the universe to speak through based on my own journey, my own lessons, and just to bring a voice and to hopefully coalesce a community and a conversation around what's being discussed. And so, this really isn't about, hey, I know this and I've solved this. This is just things that I am learning and sharing to help evolve the human species, the human race, to the next level of consciousness as I go on my own journey of consciousness. And so, one of the things that I wanted to engage with everybody today is around the energy of seeking. So, one of the I think I heard somebody else say this, but it was so powerful because it was like one of the most powerful forces that the universe created was the energy of our egos. And so it is the most subtle, nuanced energy because it's our own energy, as A Course in Miracles says, working against us. It does not perceive our own best interests. So when we perceive ourselves as individual doers, as the egoic self, so if I perceive myself as Erin, the girl with red hair with the black glasses on, leading this conversation, versus being in union with Source, and what does Source want to have come through me during this live video to share with the masses to help engage people in different thought, in different conversation, to bring a greater level of enlightenment to the world. And enlightenment isn't a quest or a journey. Enlightenment is really a state of being. Enlightenment is a remembrance of the truth. And I know I share this often, but if we think about the universe, it's very simple, yet it's very complex, which is part of the paradox. And the complexity is the ego. The simplicity is remembering who we are. If I remember that I am part of the universal whole, I am part of the oneness of the universe, I am all the things that I already seek, then there's where does the ego reside in that? It resides nowhere, but it exists because we're human beings and we've been on this human journey. And so I think about this often of, we're here to be non-doers. We are not here to be there's no separate force outside of God, Source, the universe, divine operating. There isn't. We may perceive different polarities within the energy of the oneness, but there aren't different individual actors acting. There's only one actor here. And we need to remember that, and we need to dissolve the ego. And when I think about myself, I use myself as just one example. But I think of like how often I'm in the energy of seeking, which, if you think about that, that's also an energy of lack. And our ego really is comprised of three main energies that keep us in separation, to keep us out of union with the oneness. Because if we remember that, then we are free, we're all powerful, we're in the flow with the universe. So if I think about my ego, what does it like to do? It likes to create fear for me. It likes to create the illusion that I can control the outcome. It likes to create attachments. So attaching to an outcome, attaching to a person, attaching to a place, whatever it might be, that is an energy of the ego, of separateness. And what we're being asked to do is to transcend and come into an energy of oneness, an energy of trust and surrender. And even if I think about this, and I've really been on this journey, and I think of like how much of my ego is even acting, and it becomes more and more and more subtle of like how it wants to keep control of me. So it's like, okay, Erin, you have to learn how to surrender. No, that's the ego saying, Erin, you as an individual doer need to learn how to surrender. You're already surrender to as we evolve in this consciousness. And I think this is going to be one of the hardest evolutions we have in human history. And if we think about what's going on the planet or within the universe, or however you look at that, we are at the most incredible time within human evolution, because that's as a species we're rising from third density consciousness, egoic consciousness, the separate self, the identity of, okay, this makes me Erin, that third energy center, the solar plexus of who am I, that real stronghold is what we're now trying to bring into the heart, rise that energy into the heart, which then dissolves it. Because when we're in our heart-based consciousness, when we're in the unity consciousness, when we understand the universal truths and principles that are at play, that there's only one of us here. Everything that I see, experience, interact with is one with me. It's part of who I am. I'm in union with that. It's not, I'm working in cooperation with that. And our ego wants to keep us out, like it's become so subtle. Even when I think of going, like what the example I just gave of like, okay, Erin, you need to surrender. Well, that's again an illusion that Erin, the individual actor, needs to do something, versus no, I'm here to truly release. And when I think about like, why are we all here? What is our purpose? Why did we incarnate on this planet? It wasn't to be a bunch of doers, to accumulate a lot of things. It was here to actualize and realize who we were as a soul, to remember who we were, to come into the state of beingness, to have heaven on earth, to be the Buddha, to be Christ. And our ego is so, it's the most powerful energy, and it's the smartest energy, because it's always creating things to, even if we think we're moving on the path of the journey, it's also trying to continue to keep control, and it becomes more and more nuanced. And so why do I want to engage you guys in this conversation? Because I see how many people are suffering. I see how many people feel like they're lacking. I watch people chase stuff where it's like, oh, here, if you just do this program and spend X and you'll just solve all your problems. Like, that's not the journey that we are here to be on. Like, there is no magic pill that just solves everybody's problems. We are here to be in cooperation with the universe. We're here to be in oneness with the universe. And if our own ego doesn't perceive our own best interest, how could any other human being acting separate from God have our own best interest at heart? And if you think about the world that we're in right now, we are in an energy of taking and using, and what's in it for me. There's very little energy of the Christ consciousness, of the unity consciousness, of I am here to just pour out myself into the world and trust that the universe is going to take care of me. Like, we're always thinking about what can I do in order to get? What can I give to get? That is the energy of the ego. The energy of the soul is I am here to give, and the universe is going to have that receive. I'm going to receive back from that because I'm in a true state of giving. And so the whole point of like why I want to come in and have these conversations is I want every human being on this planet to actualize into their fullest potential by remembering who they are. I have no other motivation. I have no other goal. I want to be in service of this world, to share with you my heart and my own learnings, and to connect you with other people doing amazing work. Just like I had that conversation with Megan Silito about her nervous system reset course, which launches on the 18th, which I would love to have you join me for that. There's a variety of people doing a lot of amazing work on this planet to help us evolve our consciousness, to evolve our souls, to help us go to the next level. And there's not one person here that holds any one answer. It's the human collective. And my whole mission as a vessel for God to work through is to engage the human collective in that evolution. And not everybody is there. Not everybody is ready for this conversation. But when you are, I want to invite you in. And for those that are there, I want to engage you in your own journey. And what are you experiencing and what are you learning? Because that's how we learn and grow, through each other, through learning through each other. And so my whole mission is to build a community where we can share, where we can learn, where we can grow, where we can transcend. And ultimately, when we do the inner work, we create the world externally to us that's a reflection of that inner work. And that's, when I think of like, I don't want any more war. I don't want another single innocent soul dying. Like, the only way we solve that is through the work that I just described, is through the soul work, through healing our souls, and through understanding that I am you and you are me, and that we are interconnected. And so please join me. I know I haven't been super consistent as of right now with the times. I'm just following the nudgings of source when I feel called to come in, drawn in here. But I would love for you to engage in my content, to ask questions, to share your journey. I want to hear your heart and help us just transcend and grow to a whole nother level as a human species. And that's part of our evolution. We've evolved before, we've gotten to this stage. Now we're being called to the next density of consciousness, which is our heart space and unconditional love, and seeing the oneness and the unity within each other. And so please engage with me, because I think the more voices we have in this, and the more understanding we have of where everybody's at, the more we can just continue to grow, learn, and evolve. So thank you again for joining me today on my daily episode of Inner Compass. I want to help you find your inner compass, help you tap in, help you listen to that, and ultimately help us transcend and transform this world into a loving planet where we are in oneness with the earth, and we are in oneness with each other, and we take incredible care of that because of the unconditional love. So join me tomorrow. I love you all very much, and I will see you then.